Okay, so welcome everyone to our Webinar Wednesday series. We're really excited to have Wendy with us today. Next slide, please. We do want to thank our sponsor, so Rural Maryland Council, the Rural Maryland Prosperity Fund has graciously funded this webinar series, so we appreciate them and want to recognize them for their support of this. I do want to let everyone know who we are, what our mission and vision is here at the Eastern Shore Area Health Education Center. We do provide educational resources and support through community-based activities and services. And we recruit, retain, and train healthcare professionals here on the Eastern Shore. And we can only do that by the way of collaborative and innovative partnerships. We do envision expanding providers within Maryland's Eastern Shore region while promoting healthy communities and a well-trained healthcare workforce in underserved areas. I encourage you to check out our website. We will post this webinar on our website and YouTube channel for later viewing. Okay, so today, just some kind of general notes. If you've not joined us before, we will have Wendy do her presentation. We will have an opportunity for question and answers. Sometimes the question and answers are just embedded right into the presentation. Sometimes they're at the end. So we're just going to kind of go with the flow and see how today goes. We do ask that everyone mute when not asking a question. And if you can turn on your video, we'd love to see your faces. We just feel it's a more engaging experience if you're able to do that. There is a chat feature here that you can ask a question and we can get to your question as soon as we are able. I mentioned the recording. We're also grant funded, so we do like to assess pre and post knowledge. I have enabled all of these questions to be anonymous, so we won't know who has responded and how they have responded in any way. We do need you to be present to win the raffle prizes, except for the gracious YMCA week's membership. So, okay, so the prizes is that you get a 1-week membership to the YMCA. They are also offering a YMCA water bottle and yoga mat package. And then the Eastern Shore AHEC will be shipping hand weights to you from Amazon if you are the winner. So thank you again for this partnership. And we are excited to get started. Okay, so we want to again assess pre-knowledge. So if you could stop sharing and I will launch the first poll. So this is our pre-evaluation question. We just want to keep it very simple. Again, we want to collect some data for our funder. So just rate your level of excitement right now for exercise or movement. So before we get started with the presentation, how are you feeling right now? What's your level of excitement? We're just going to give everyone a little bit more time to respond. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll and share the results. So hopefully you should be able to see this, that we do have one person already excited, and that is great. We have some in the medium range and some in the low range, and we're hoping to increase that excitement, that level of excitement for exercise and movement as Wendy gets started. So let me close that out, and I do want to introduce Wendy to you. So Wendy is our guest speaker today. She grew up here on the Eastern Shore. After college, she moved back to the shore and had a 31-year career in the restaurant business in Oxford, Maryland. She began a career with the YMCA in 2017 and has served as associate executive and executive director there at the Y, and now she's director of chronic disease and prevention programs for the YMCA of the Chesapeake. a tennis player, a golfer, and a yogi. She has always had a love for fitness, but she found the most joy when she began inspiring others to move. So today, we are hoping that she will inspire us to find joy in exercise so it becomes exercise in disguise. All right, wonderful. Okay, so we're going to get that presentation up for you, and then we'll let you take it over.
I'm so excited to be with you today. Thank you for the introduction, Lisa, and thank you all for hopping on. I mean, it's your lunchtime. You could be choosing to be at a restaurant or running home to grab something to eat. We're sitting at your desk and eating, but you chose to hop on this webinar to see how can I move? How can I move and find joy in movement? So that's why I call it exercise in disguise. We can sneak things in even as we're seated at our desks. And that's what today is going to be about. All right, so our next slide is joy, finding your joy. Start moving in any way you can and make it fun, because we know that brings us joy, we'll repeat it. And that's what you need to do in the way of exercise. So we're gonna get rid of the slides this moment, and the camera's gonna be on me, and I'm gonna get you moving a little bit. Sound good? All right, so what helps me move is music. So you may stay in your seat or you may come to standing, but what I'm going to do is inspire you to move just a little bit with me. And it's going to be silly and you have to laugh and you have to smile, but that's just what I demand from my friends in my fitness classes, okay? All right. You hear it? Come on, I want you just to move around. Just move around in your seat. Yep. Anything that gets you moving, gets your heart rate up. All right, put your hands up higher. Clap along if you feel like the room is out of you. Come on, you just have to be silly. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you right, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. Put your earbuds in. Nobody needs to know that you were dancing at your desk, but just get moving, right? That's sneaking in little pieces of exercise in the day. And guess what that does? Even if you only do it for a few minutes or even less than a minute, you get the endorphins moving in your body, which gets us joyful. So, all right. So we're gonna move through a couple of slides. We'll go to that next slide, which is sneaking in exercise in your day. And I'm going to stand and demonstrate a few of these using my chair as a prop. So I say we find moments in our day for movement, which can seem so little, but you don't have to go to a gym to slide these in. So for instance, if I were to go to the grocery store and I'm standing in line,
Can we
I have
stop
a grocery
sharing?
cart, right?
Stop sharing so we can pin her. There we go.
So we can stand on one leg, which is a balance exercise, simply by placing our hands on the grocery cart while we're waiting to be checked out. So if I'm just to move onto one leg, this is a balance exercise that will give us a lot of strength in the standing leg, creating good balance. And people might think you're a little silly, but who cares? You can also come to what we call a tree pose. Again, I've got my shopping cart, so I'm not going anywhere, but I am activating this wonderful hip flexor. I'm activating the standing leg for power and strength. I'm drawing my core in while I'm standing tall. So again, you're at the grocery store, make it happen that you find some balance in that moment. If you're in line at the bank, this is going to seem really silly, but if you simply pull your toes up off the floor, it's going to be hard for you to see that. One set of toes and the other away from the floor, you're activating the foot and ankle, which are where all of our balance receptors are. They're all the way down in our feet and ankles. And guess what? It has a long way to travel to the brain. That's the message that we're sending. So we have to keep those balance receptors activated. So the toe raises. If you are seated on your couch or even at your desk, leg extensions are a wonderful way to activate your quadricep. So if everybody can just sit up really tall on their office chair and just extend one leg, then the other. You're going to feel it in the top of your leg. This is your quadricep. It's the largest muscle in your leg. And you want to keep those really strong. This leg extension can be done sitting at your desk, sitting watching TV at home. But please make little movements during your day to help keep your strength. These are very simple. The final one is called a heel raise. And again, this can be done at the grocery store, or perhaps you're home and you're brushing your teeth. I will show you simply by holding onto my counter in my kitchen or my grocery cart, wherever I am, or chair. I'm simply going to lift my heels and lower them down. If I were to do 10 of these in the morning, 10 at lunch, and 10 at dinner, I'm really going to strengthen my feet and ankles. I'm also working on wonderful movement, again, to keep my balance, and also just strengthen my feet and ankles is really important. So that's really just simple ways to kind of sneak in exercise that's not going to break a sweat. You know what I mean? So that's really where I am with that. All right. We don't have to go through the slides. I know what's next. Just keep them for reference later. But if you'd like to, the next slide, maybe you want to show it, is my recipe for success. 10, 10, 10. Easy to remember. Very easy to remember. But if we do this and we commit to doing this, we will keep the mobility and the strength to get up and out of our chair forever and always and not give it up. So I always say, if you repeat it, just like you brush your teeth, then you'll find success. So I can demonstrate now, if you want to go back to the single presentation. For me, a sit to stand is a simple exercise that can be done from a sturdy chair. I'm going to turn it side on so you can see. The chair should not have wheels, so don't try this at your office desk if your chair has wheels. But our commitment to posture is going to be really critical here. We're going to sit on the edge of the chair with our shoulders back over our hips. And what we call our powerhouse, our hip flexors, need to be primed first. So I'll say, you're not going to go out to your car when it's 20 degrees outside and start the engine and drive out of the driveway. You're going to turn on the engine, you're going to let it run for a little bit before you're to drive. So the same thing would be for exercise. I'm not going to start exercising until I've warmed the engine. And so the engine is the hip flexor. So it starts with a reach and row, which looks like this, hinging all the way forward, nose over toes, and then pulling back. And so for my exercise, I might tell somebody to do maybe 5 of these just to prime the engine every time I'm pulling back. And then for the standing part, you're going to drive through your heels to rise up. So it's still going to be nose over toes, pushing through the heels to stand tall. I'll pull my elbows back on that, but as I reverse it, I'm going to lower down slowly and repeat. 10 of these in a row will activate your quadriceps, your glutes, your hamstrings. And as I said, the recipe for success is to repeat that 10 in the morning, 10 at lunch, and 10 at dinner. Quick testimonial. I've been working with a gentleman who came to the Y recently and was having trouble getting out of a chair. What he was doing was this, turning around, putting his hands on his chair to rise up when I first met him. And now he's able to complete 8 sit-to-stands. So I'm very pleased that in a short time, he's doing the homework. And I really impressed on him that instead of him shooting for the 10 in the beginning, if it's something that's been a challenge, I want him to go for that quality over quantity and really form his stronger muscle groups by focusing on the form and the movement and then building the quantity over time. So that's just, I want to share that with everybody, that it does work. He's doing his homework and he's coming back and he's showing that he gets, he's more functional in that movement. All right. Okay, so our next slide, please. All right. Why should I exercise? Well, we know many reasons why we exercise. We exercise because we feel better after we do. And sometimes it's just really hard to, find that something that gives us joy. But I'm going to explain the difference between what I call lifespan versus health span. Our lifespan is how long we live, and our health span is how well we live. And how well we live, obviously with my role in chronic disease prevention and intervention at the Y, I really can't emphasize how important exercise is. In fact, many of our chronic diseases that are showing up in our communities, it's proven, evidence shows that sometimes the exercise is equal or more important than the medication that is prescribed for that disease. So for instance, I work with Parkinson's, and many people that are diagnosed with Parkinson's don't realize that the exercise movement is so critical in their health care that that is why our vision here is to always serve that community and offer those programs for free, because we know if they don't have it, if they're not a part of that movement regularly, then they really will see a decline in their mobility. But that is true for anybody with or without a diagnosis, that our decline would happen faster if we are not adding exercise regularly. And we shouldn't be waiting until later in life to say, oh gosh, now I'm really noticing I'm not moving well. So I will say that we're going to look for quality and quantity when it comes to our health span, meaning that we want to be finding something that's bringing us joy. So that's the quality. So we want to have good quality of exercise. I'm not going to show up if I don't enjoy it and I'm dreading it. But quantity meaning let's repeat it as often as we can. And when we can't, let's find ways to sneak it in. So that's sort of like what I love to say is go for both quality and quantity. All right, my next slide, please. All right, so I have several group exercise classes at the Y. I love to share this one in particular because we all know somebody who has been away from fitness for a long time, maybe never took an exercise class in their lifetime, but this one, what we call moderate impact with high impact results, class has been offered at the Y for the last 7 years. And the gentleman that I was just sharing the testimonial about, he is in that program. It is a wonderful program. It's an evidence-based program, and we love that in the world of healthcare, to say that the exercise is safe. It's also safe for anybody that's living with arthritis, maybe coming back from an injury where they've finished all their physical therapy and rehab, and they're trying to just find a way to get moving again. So this is one program at the Y that is a free program for the first 16 weeks. And I love to share that because what we like to say is it's once you get in, you realize that there's benefit and you start to feel better and you'll begin to repeat it. The next slide does share the benefits and what people notice, that they have more energy, better balance, increased strength in upper and lower body, flexibility, range of motion, which we know is so important. They sleep better. They're happier because they found some joy. They also have a sense of independence because maybe they weren't moving as well and they needed to rely on friends or family to help them carry groceries in. And then obviously sharing that the costs, healthcare costs were down for friends that were participating in a regular exercise program. And then overall, they're a part of a community, which I feel is so important. Part of the joy that I find at the Y is that every class that I teach, it's seeing a small community within a bigger community here at the Y, that we all connect, you know, as members, as coach to member, the many coaches that work together. There's such a strong bond of love and caring community at the Y. So I'm feel blessed to be a part of that. Let's add some movement together. And then I'm going to explain some things as we're doing it to say where you might find this. So we started with a little dance, the Pharrell Williams Happy, which always brings me joy to hear that song. If you were to come to the Y and you love to dance, then that's going to bring you joy. And there are many programs that have dance. And then there are people that are like, I have 2 left feet, so I can't dance. I wouldn't be able to follow instructions. So some of our low impact classes would have simple movements some of our classes can be done fully seated and some can be done standing. And so I'll give you, for instance, and if you want to stand and move with me, please do. And if you don't, you can do the motions seated in your chair. So one of the low impact classes, a very simple movement is called the step touch. So step together. Our movement, as we are moving, we're finding some joy because we have some good music on, and maybe we're snapping our fingers. We are activating those hip flexors. So hopefully finding some joy because the person that's instructing you is smiling, she's playing some good music. We're getting our heart rate up. And if we're finding more movement or can add more movement, it might look like this, a little kickback. So that's our hamstring, the back of the leg. We're finding great balance on one leg. It might be as simple as, and those exercises will be repeated for maybe a minute. It might be as simple as just a little toe tap out in front, like on the dance floor. But I don't have to create moves like a line dance that maybe you get to a wedding and everybody's up on the floor and they're following the line dance and you're like, yeah, not me, can't do that, I have 2 left feet. These programs that I'm referring to would allow you to do all the movements without necessarily having good rhythm or potentially, being able to keep up with choreography. So anybody with 2 left feet can do these programs. Some of our wonderful programs in the way of strength, people are intimidated by strength. What I can tell you is it's not scary at all. We have 1-pound dumbbells, 2-pound dumbbells, 3, 5, all the way up to 10, 15, doesn't matter. But don't be intimidated because any resistance weight movement training is beneficial to your body. So for instance, during COVID, when we were sharing a lot of our programs on Zoom like this, we were like, not everybody has dumbbells, but guess what? Everybody has 2 cans of soup in their cabinet. So if you were to go and grab 2 cans of soup, you could move through the bicep curls right in your home. And it works. It's a little bit of weight. Doesn't need to have much, but I will also note that you can exercise without weights and still have good form and create good strength. So let's try that together. Everybody will sit up really tall on the edge of your chair. And again, exercise in disguise, because I don't have to go to a gym to do this. I want you to glue your elbows to your body. And I'm going to tilt this down a tiny bit. Palms will be open to the camera. And then you're just going to lift hands to your shoulders and back down. So we're going to strengthen, palms are facing you, and lengthen, palms are facing me. This is a bicep curl. Now notice I've flared my fingers really wide. Try that and see if you feel a difference in your forearm and your bicep as you're moving. But the whole time we're squeezing the elbow into the body. Squeeze it, squeeze it. That's the word of the day, squeezing both directions. Keeping the wrist really firm, and the movement is just the bend in the elbow. So that's a bicep curl. If you're doing 10 sit to stands, hey, why not throw in 10 bicep curls? The movement is slow. It's down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. And again, did everybody notice if they flared their fingers wide, a little difference in what they were feeling in their bicep? Give me a thumbs up if you felt that difference. Yeah. Okay. Another wonderful way to sneak in exercise for upper body strength. And again, if you're at your desk, this is going to feel like a stretch and strength. It is simply by making goal post arms. So your elbow is in line with your shoulder, and you close in front and open up wide. You're going to close in front and open up wide. So we're targeting the chest, upper back, shoulders, and if we continue this for some time, because our hands are above our heart rate will lift, but we're still in the air conditioning, we're still in our seat, so we don't have to leave and run out to the gym and change clothes and get sweaty, right? We can do exercises at our desk. Simple as this. And give me 2 more. And last one. And rest. Shake it out. I love the upper body exercises because we do tend to, we're forward on our computers or at our phones. We're always forward folding in our chairs at home. And so getting in that super strong upright position, focusing on your posture, and then bringing in the goalpost arm work is really going to strengthen the muscles through the chest, through the upper back. And I really find it very beneficial for anybody that is in an office place to continue to add those throughout your day. The one more that can be done at your desk is, if you'll do it with me, I can't move my camera down to my feet, but keep your feet hip distance apart and simply lift your heels, lower your heels back down. If you're wearing high heels, this might be difficult. It's going to work better with flats or tennis shoes, but lift the heels, lower them back down, lift and lower. And again, we're strengthening those feet. And my husband always says, do you ever stop moving? I don't. If I'm sitting at home watching TV, I will do alternating heel raises like I'm on a dance floor. It drives him nuts, but I always say you should add movement throughout your day, and that's how we're going to find joy and strength. Let's see. I wanted to talk about finding joy without intimidation at the Y, and that's where I'm going to get a little closer to the camera so I make sure you can know where I'm coming from. When you come to the Y for your week, your free trial week, you're going to have a wonderful greeting from the front desk staff, but you're going to use that code to get the free week. So you have to say, I'm here to redeem my exercise in disguise code. Okay. Exercise in disguise. That's a code that's going to get you the free trial week at the Y. And then our staff will say, would you like a tour? So they're going to take you around and show you the spaces where you can exercise on the machines. And we have staff on the floor that help you learn how to work the machine. So that's, maybe how just to set the treadmill to the pace you like, or the bike that has the TV that you can watch a whole show, and before you know it, you finished your ride. And they're also going to provide you with our group exercise schedule, which has so many offerings early in the morning if you're an early riser, some that start at 5:15 a.m., many throughout the day, and then many in the evening too. And again, the offerings are dance, if that brings you joy, yoga, if you are living with stress, yoga is the answer. Yoga is going to give you not only your strength, it's going to give you your calm. And they sound so opposite, right? Strength, calm. They're not. They're really found in the same place in a yoga class. And all of our classes are considered gentle, meaning We don't expect you to be able to come in here and be in a handstand or a headstand on your first day. And there's many modifications offered. So when you should come in and try a yoga class, I love to say, if you do something with a friend, like maybe you pair up with a friend from work, or a girlfriend, or a neighbor, or your spouse, or even a child, try something together, you're more inclined to repeat it if you do it together and you find some commonality or some joy together, that you're like, ooh, no, that wasn't so hard. I just want to make sure everybody knows that we shouldn't look at exercise as something that's scary. We should look at something that could really make a huge impact in our lives, but also actually bring us joy. And that's where I hope today we've kind of opened up our eyes to say, like, I didn't know I could do that at my office, or I didn't know I should do that, out and about town. And I tell my friends in my group exercise classes, like the balancing on one foot, or, at the grocery store or whatever, I was like, people might look at you like you're funny, but you are actually doing something for you that's going to help you, keep your strength and balance for a long time. So I encourage you to try the little tips that I've given you. And I encourage you to come to the Y, take the tour, take advantage of that free trial week. And within that free trial week, we can spend some time with you. We have fitness staff on the floor for up to an hour to show you around. So you could schedule that with our staff, but also to explore some of the group exercise classes. And don't be nervous about coming in and trying something new, because our staff is going to run to you and welcome you. And then we also have what we call our health ambassadors in each class. So for instance, an indoor cycling class, people are like, oh my gosh, those people go so fast and they go so far. No, not true. Like, you could go and ride 2 miles where the guy next to you is riding 10 miles, doesn't matter. That's his journey. This is your journey on your bike. And always great music. Most of our instructors have, just wonderful playlists. So if you love, like, I love the 70s and some 80s music, most of our instructors just have like a little theme they'll put together. And before you know it, you've got 5 miles on your bike. And like, I would never do that on the road, because one, I'm too nervous to ride on the road because people are crazy drivers. But it's hot and there's bugs, and at the Y, it's air conditioned and the bikes are comfortable, and you've got music playing, and there's science behind group fitness. And the science says that, one, you're more motivated because you're in a group. Like, you could leave early, but you probably wouldn't, because everybody's going and you want to stay with the pack. And then the other piece is science shows that we find more joy when we are doing it in a group. It's sort of like that group endorphin rush that everybody has, and you thrive more in a group setting. So I'm not saying that people that exercise on their own aren't finding their joy. I'm just saying that science proves that when we do it in a group, we're actually more inclined to repeat it. And then, of course, if it's bringing us joy, we will definitely repeat it. So I'd like to open it up for any questions about the why, not WHY, but the why, and maybe any particular questions about movement. And even if you wanted to throw something at me, like, I had this injury or something that I'm trying to come back from, I'm happy to try to chime in and answer any of those. So can we open that back up to questions, and then we'll take the poll towards the end? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. If you feel more comfortable putting your question in the chat, you can do that as well. And then I don't know, Wendy, if you want to talk a little bit more about the 1 week membership. It's not just for the Easton Y where you're located. It's
so wherever you are. We have so good. I'm glad you brought that up, Lisa. We have 11 YMCAs. The YMCA of the Chesapeake is an association, so we have 11 YMCAs. We have one as far north as Cecil County. We have one in Kent County, Queen Anne's County. Those are two pretty much brand new Ys. The Queen Anne's County Y just opened this past fall. We have a small Y, it's a storefront Y in Caroline County in Denton. We have the 2 locations here in Easton. I'm here at the Y at Washington today, which is our smaller Y. It's, you know, 4 indoor tennis courts, pickleball court, and oh, speaking of joy, pickleball, I'll speak to that in a minute. A group exercise space, a weight room. So the Y at Washington, people find that it's a little less intimidating than the big Y that's on Peach Blossom because it's just smaller. So there's only 5 treadmills, right? There's only 2 bikes. And so people tend to come here if they're new, and we start a lot of our new programs here because we want people to feel kind of like that love when they come in. They get a warm hug when they get here. I mean, I'm saying that, but it's true. And then I did mention pickleball. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the world, or I'll call it a game sport. It's slash, because you can play for fun or you can play competitively. A lot of our friends do a little bit of both. But we provide all the equipment. You don't have to run out and buy a pickleball paddle or balls. All you have to do is, be a member at the Y or even this trial membership, try it out, where you can go to the front desk and sign out a paddle and balls. And that's something you play together with your family. And we also offer free, the first Friday of every month, we offer a free pickleball lesson. It's a Friday evening and it's perfect because it's 6 o'clock at night, so if somebody's working, they can still get there in time. All right, let's see what these chat questions are, and I'll try to get through them all. Other classes other than spin and yoga. Yeah, so the group exercise classes are different in every location, but there's going to be an offering in every level. So the cardio classes, I'll note, are dance and cycling, and maybe a boot camp style class. Those are going to be considered cardio. Our strength classes would be a low impact and strength class. Body pump, which is a Les Mills program. They call it the rep effect. It's a lot of repetition in a class. That's a really fun format where you stick with the choreography with strength work. But we also have different movement classes. The low impact and strength, which I love because you don't have to be a dancer to do it. It's just cardio step movements, maybe marching in place, and lots of benefits to all the movements that are in that class. And then of course, yoga being our mind and body. And some of our Ys offer Tai Chi. It all depends on the location, what they offer. Queen Anne's County actually has a boxing class. So fun. We're actually trying to start one here in Easton. Talk about letting stress off, putting on some boxing gloves and hitting a bag. Yeah, so those are really great classes at each of our Y. And you can find them on the YMCA, the Chesapeake website, just going to the location that you'd like to try, and the class schedule is on that location. Okay, the next question was opportunities for individual exercise. Of course, all of our wellness centers are equipped with exercise equipment. We have our treadmills, our bikes, what we call our Octane, which is sort of like a seated bike, but also upper body exercise. So you're getting your strength work and your lower body and heart rate lift. I love the Octane. And we do have personal trainers that can meet with you. You would get a free consult with a personal trainer to see what you needed to work on. You can share your health history and what your goals are, and then they can design a program with you to meet those needs. Yeah, so it's great. I love the question about the 10,000 steps. That is an excellent question, and it is an excellent goal. What I will say is, yes, it's a great goal to keep, but don't beat yourself up if you don't meet it, right? Because movement, if we're sneaking it in other ways throughout our day, we're still going to feel really good about ourselves. So I feel like people that set that goal, I saw a funny meme about it. It was this woman who was like trying to get to her 10,000 steps. And so she was literally like wanting to go to bed, but standing next to her bed, like running in place. And I'm like, don't beat yourself up, right? It'd be great if you did it every day, but don't beat yourself up. So yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? I'll scroll down through these. So the YMCA is for everybody. We love to say that membership is for all. Programs in terms of like youth sports or dance lessons or swim lessons, a non-member can participate in all these programs. In our group exercise classes, we ask all of our members, or ask you to be members to participate. That's why I'm offering this free week to our participants on this webinar to say, listen, we know it's a challenge right now. Like everybody's watching their bank accounts dwindle with the price of groceries and that kind of thing. So we don't want the YMCA to ever have a barrier for you to join. So we do have what we call membership for all. It's our assistance program. So I also will say, like, don't be afraid to ask. I would love to join. I've had this free week. It's been amazing. I've met a lot of good people. I want to continue this. And our staff will work with you to try to make sure that the assistance is provided so that you can make it a part of your, your lifestyle. And then in terms of, the group exercise classes, they're all included in your membership. And every one of our Ys have different offerings. Here in Easton, we have indoor and outdoor pickleball. We have our 2 swimming pools. One is what we call our therapy pool. It's 88 degrees. It feels so good on the joints. It's so good to move in that space. And then we have our cooler pool, which is at 80. And that has a lot of water exercise classes and lap swimming and that kind of thing. So I would say, when you do come for your trial week, try a little bit of everything. It's going to be difficult, but hopefully you're going to be like a kid in a candy shop and you're going to want to try it all. Like, oh, today I'm going to try this, today I'm going to try that. Or try 2 in one day. You could do like a half an hour of one class and a half an hour of another class and not stay for the whole class. We never frown upon somebody leaving early if they need to. I love this walk ahead step challenge. I love it. It's so true. Like, I think that is just human nature. If somebody says, I challenge you, or like, if I'm trying to get somebody in my class, I'll say, I'll double dog dare you type thing. And then I can get them to do something like they never thought they could do. And my message to everybody on this Zoom today is you can do anything. You can do anything you want to. Just make sure it brings you joy.
All right. Well, thank you, Wendy, so much. Oh my gosh, I feel ready to move. So thank you. I'd like to do our poll next. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that up, our post evaluation. If you guys could take a moment to answer these questions, rate your level of excitement for exercise and movement after this session. So right now, hopefully there's some increase in excitement. And then next, do you feel inspired to use the tools and information you have learned today? And hopefully that's a yes as well.
I hope I see you at the grocery store balancing on one leg.
We're doing heel raises. Wendy told us to do that.
Exactly.
All right. So thank you so much for everyone participating in this poll. It looks like we do have increased level of excitement and we feel more inspired to get up and move and use the tools that you mentioned. Okay.
Yeah, hope you all will try the free trial week. And like I said, it doesn't matter which location. Just say I'm here to redeem my free trial week. Exercise in disguise. You don't have to whisper. You don't have to whisper, but yeah.
All right. So the first, everyone gets the free week. So the next one is we're going to raffle off the YMCA water bottle and exercise mat. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and the prize wheel. So I have people's names in here. Again, you had to be present to win these other prizes. So I did have to remove someone that had to leave early. So we have these individuals here who are eligible to win the YMCA water bottle and mat. So let's go ahead and spin and see who that winner is. Oh my goodness, who is it? It's Carol. Bianca, I was thinking it was you, but it was Carol. So Carol, we would need to get that to you. So if you reach out to us and let us know how we can get that to you, we can either ship it or I can meet you. Carol, I know that you're at the college, so just let me know how we can get that to you. All right, and then
Or
the
we can
next
have it
one.
at the Y when she comes to redeem her free week.
Oh,
We can have it,
right, exactly. Okay, and then next we have the weights that we'll send you from Amazon. We did say like 5 pounds, but if there's a different weight, like if you want 2 pounds or 3 pounds, let us know. We want to make sure that you get what you need for your personal workout. So let's go ahead and spin this for the weights that we'll mail you from Amazon. All right, and that's Kelly. So Kelly, congrats. Kelly, you're still with us, right?
Nice.
Is Kelly still with us? Oh, is she not with us?
I don't see her.
Okay, we have to spin again. All right.
Again.
All right, so it's either Bianca, Heather, or Marcy. Here we go. Let's roll.
Like you said, go with the flow, right, Lisa?
Yeah. All right, Heather, it's you. Yay. So Heather, we'll need your mailing address because we'll go ahead and mail it right to you from Amazon. So, all right, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Well,
Cool.
Wendy, thank you again. It was a wonderful
my pleasure.
presentation. And we will add this to our YouTube channel. And, you know, we hope that you will share this with your friends and family and colleagues, and hopefully they can view it on YouTube and get their free pass as well. They get their free pass if they view the webinar. So
yeah, we encourage everybody to try that trial week. Like I said, I'm on the encouragement mission to get everybody moving, and if I can get you and 10 friends moving, I have done my work today.
all right, wonderful. Any remaining questions before we stop recording? Thanks,
Okay,
Heather.
I'll do that.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, bye guys. Have a great one.
Right,
Okay,
thank you
thanks.
all. Hope to see
Thank
you at
you
the
all.
Y soon.